Why garden, you ask? How about enjoying the best vegetables and fruit you've ever eaten? If you've never tasted garden fresh food, you will be amazed by the sweet, juicy flavors and vibrant textures. There's absolutely nothing quite like fresh veggies, especially if you grow them yourself, which you can. It may seem daunting at first, but gardening is a very rewarding hobby. In this video, we'll highlight the basics of vegetable gardening and planting, how to pick the right site for your garden, how to create the right size garden, and how to select which vegetables to grow. Pick the right location. Picking a good location for your garden is absolutely key. A subpar location can result in subpar veggies. Here are a few tips for choosing a good site. Sunny spot. Most vegetables need 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight per day. There are a few veggies, mostly the leafy ones, that will tolerate some shade, drains well, and doesn't stay wet. If you have poorly drained soil where water pools, plant veggies in a raised bed or raised row for improved drainage. Wet soil means wet roots, which can turn into rotted roots. If you have rocky soil, till and remove the rocks, as they will interfere with root growth and make for weaker plants. Stable and not windy. Avoid places that receive strong winds that could knock over your young plants or keep pollinators from doing their job. Nor do you want to plant in a location that receives too much foot traffic or floods easily. Plant in a location that would make Goldilocks smile, somewhere that's just right. Nutrient-rich soil. Your soil feeds your plants. If you have thin, nutrient-poor soil, you'll have poor, unhealthy plants. Mix in plenty of organic matter to help your plants grow. Choosing a plot size. Start small. Remember, it's better to be proud of a small garden than be frustrated by a big one. One of the most common errors that beginners make is planting too much too soon. Way more than anybody could ever eat or want. Unless you want to have zucchinis taking up residence in your attic. Plan your garden with care. Start small and only grow what you know you and your family will eat. If you want to grow your plants more quickly, then use our full spectrum LED grow light, which is available at our store. Link is given in the description. Size of garden. If planting in the ground, a 10x10 garden, 100 square feet, is a manageable size. Pick 3 to 5 of your favorite vegetables and buy 3 to 5 plants of each one. If planting in a raised bed, a 4x4 or 4x8 is a good beginner size. If you want to go bigger, a 12x24 garden in the ground is probably the biggest a first-timer should go. For example, a garden that feeds a family of 4 could include 3 hills of yellow squash, 1 mountain of zucchini, 10 assorted peppers, 6 tomato plants, 12 okra plants, a 12-foot row of bush beans, 2 cucumbers on a cage, 2 eggplant, 6 basil, 1 rosemary, and a few low-growing herbs such as oregano, thyme, and marjoram. Choosing vegetables. As a beginner, start by choosing easy vegetables that are also productive. However, it would also be wise to contact your state's cooperative extension service to find out what plants grow best in your area. For example, if you live in an area with extremely hot weather, vegetables that prefer cooler temps may struggle. Top 10 easy vegetables. Lettuce, green beans, radishes, tomatoes, bush variety or cherry are easiest. Zucchini, peppers, beets, carrots, chard, spinach or kale. Peas. Mix in flowers such as marigolds, which discourage pests, attracts pollinators, and adds some color. 5 tips for choosing vegetables. Choose what you and your family like to eat. If no one likes Brussels sprouts, don't bother planting them. But if your kids love green beans, put more effort towards growing a big crop of beans. Be realistic about how many vegetables your family will eat. Be careful not to overplant, as you will only stretch yourself thin by trying to take care of tons of plants. Of course, you could always give excess veggies away to friends, family, or the local soup kitchen. Consider the availability of veggies at your grocery store. Maybe you want raw tomatillos instead of cabbage or carrots, which are readily available. Also, certain veggies are so far superior when homegrown it's almost a shame not to consider them. We're thinking of garden lettuce and tomatoes. Also, homegrown herbs are far less expensive than grocery store herbs. Be prepared to take care of your plants throughout the growing season. Going on a summer vacation? Remember that tomatoes and zucchinis are growing strongest in the middle of summer. If you're gone part of the summer, you need someone to look after the crops or they will suffer. Or you could just grow cool season crops such as lettuce, kale, peas, and root veggies during the cooler months of late spring and early fall. Use high-quality seeds. Seed packets are less expensive than individual plants, but if seeds don't germinate, your money and time are wasted. A few extra cents spent in spring for that year's seeds will pay off in higher yields at harvest time. Where and when to plant. If you are simply growing 2 or 3 tomato plants, this process is easy. But if you plan to grow a full garden, you need to consider: where will each plant go? When will each vegetable need to be planted? Here are a few guidelines for arranging your vegetables. Not all vegetables are planted at the same time. Cool season vegetables, such as lettuce and broccoli and peas, grow in cooler weather of early spring and fall. Warm season, such as tomatoes and peppers and cucumbers, aren't planted until the soil warms up in late spring and summer. Plant tall veggies, such as pole beans on a trellis or sweet corn, on the north side of the garden so they don't shade shorter plants. If you do get shade in a part of your garden, save that area for small, cool season veggies. If shade is unavoidable in parts of your garden, save those areas for cool season vegetables which appreciate shade as the weather heats up. Most veggies are annuals, planted each year. If you're planning on growing perennial crops such as asparagus, rhubarb, and some herbs, provide permanent locations or beds. Consider that some crops mature quickly and have a very short harvest period. Radishes, bush beans, other plants, such as tomatoes, take longer to produce, but also produce for longer. These days to maturity are typically listed on the seed packet. Stagger plantings. You don't want to plant all your lettuce seeds at the same time, or all that lettuce will need to be harvested at around the same time. Stagger plantings by a few weeks to keep them coming. As a beginner, you would also need tools for performing different tasks in the garden. That's why we have got you covered. Premium Garden Tools set is available at our store, which consists of everything you need. Link is given in description. Do check out a starter beginner garden plan. To help out beginners, we thought that it may be useful to see a garden design. Here is an example of a starter family garden using mainly of the common easy-to-grow vegetables told before. It also features companion planting, which means the practice of placing plants that thrive together next to each other. You'll see that we have given the garden decent-sized paths and mixed in a few herbs and flowers too. Frankly, if we had grown this garden in our very first year, we would be thrilled. In planning the garden this way, we have made it so much easier for you to succeed with it. That concludes today's video. If you are new to gardening, I hope this video was very helpful. Subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon to never miss an update, and by doing so, you can keep your garden up to date with my daily content.